Hi, this is Sean Clinch, the host of Stories Inside the Man Cave podcast, and this episode is brought to you by our friends at Shoal Creek Saloon, your unofficial home to UT men's and women's basketball. Man, it's only, well, some will argue this is the best time of year. We are in the month of February. College baseball, this is season opening week. And, you know, he's my go-to guy on a lot of things. But Ty Harrington, living the great retired life as a former successful college baseball coach, a great player as well for the University of Texas. But, Ty, as you can hear, there is no comparison to the sound of that ping of those bats in college baseball. You're in Arlington right now. Tell us a little bit about what you're about to witness over the next 3 days.
Well, let's start with a couple of things first. When you say I'm your go-to guy about something, I'm not really sure what that means at some point. I'm hoping it means baseball, so I'm going to stick with
baseball only, strictly.
It's my story. I'm sticking to it. And then the other piece of it is I'm going to show you where I'm at. I'm going to turn this around. You can hear it. You can see it. You can almost feel it, because it is really close to opening day. So I'm going to show you a picture of what Globe Life in Arlington, Texas looks like today. At OU practicing right now, you can see that it's
beautiful,
starting to get that feel for baseball, and you certainly can hear the metal bats without any doubt. And the last time I saw this stadium, well, first time for me in person, but the last time I saw this stadium, the Rangers were winning a world championship. And you can see they've done a good job of dressing it up around here to, you win a world championship or national title, you're going to let everybody know about it, as you should. 100%. And they're doing a great job with it. I'm so happy to be here and excited to be here with Flo Sports and doing the Shriners College Classic. Mm-hmm. I might be the only one that can say this. So if I am, I'm going to say it anyway, is that I'm probably the only one that has ever coached in it, and then also done the announcing in it or color commentating on it. So I'm going to stick with that and say that I am. Now, if you know something different, I don't want to hear it right now, but go ahead. You're pointing your finger at me.
I was just going to say you should put that on your resume under the list of accomplishments and achievements. And if you notice on your name slug below, I also added MC talent. You just MC'd for the first time, which I find shocking. Don't let him fool you. He's a natural. He emceed the preseason dinner banquet show for UT baseball, and he crushed it.
Well, I appreciate that. Those are kind words. I was kind of nervous. It was the first time I've ever done it. And, of course, my job that night was easy. I get to introduce, one of the most quality coaches and most successful coaches, and David Pierce, head coach from UT now. The next one I got to introduced was my college roommate. Now the fun part would have been I could have really stayed up there for about an hour and really gotten good with it. And but certainly getting a chance to introduce one of my all-time favorite people, Greg Swindell, a roommate and person who I've had a long-time friendship with. And then last but not least, one of the greatest Longhorns of them all, Keith Moore. Oh. And so it wasn't necessarily that the MC did a great job. What he was doing, introducing, was pretty easy. And, when you start reading off accomplishments and stories and historic stories about, their greatness was easy and fun. But I appreciate the kind words. I did, after that, a week later, I went and spoke at the leadoff dinner at University of Mary Hardin-Baylor.
Wow.
Where one of my former teammates, Todd Haney, is an assistant coach. And went and spoke there, had a great time. They've got such a beautiful campus there now. Oh, my God. And Coach Fredenberg Field football stadium was just, gorgeous. And so it was exciting and fun, but I appreciate the kind words about the MC.
100%, man. If I have a banquet of any sort, if I'm on some committee, I'm going to the go-to guy, Ty Harrington.
As long as it's not your funeral, my friend, I'm in. So
no funerals for 40 years, brother.
That's right.
Hey, we got to give a quick shout out, real quick. Love you see on the upper left, Shoal Creek Saloon. The mud bugs have been affected by the drought, but the volume of them are increasing weekly. They will boil them until they sell out. Sometimes they sell out after lunch. Go visit our friends at Shoal Creek Saloon, and for honest plumbing and air, it's a great time right now to get your HVAC, have the maintenance done, or even purchase a new one because you can get it for a cheaper rate than you would in, let's say, July. So call our guys at Honest. UT baseball starts at home, and for people who didn't follow it, this is a hard piece of video to watch, how the season ended last year. And it just, I literally almost threw up on the floor, and we're going to show you about the 8 seconds of how this season ended at the Stanford Super Regional last summer.
And they don't spot it. Kennedy looking for it, and it drops. Stanford wins and is going to Omaha.
Ty, you've seen a lot of bizarre things, but you've also seen some great moments in baseball. That has to be one of the most gut-wrenching examples of how cruel baseball can be.
Yes. Look, when you're a baseball fan, a baseball coach, you've been in this business, you're going to find a lot of ways to win games, and those you remember. And then you're going to find bizarre ways, which happened, unfortunately, that night at the Sunken Diamond, that you get beat. And unfortunately, in this business as a coach, you end up remembering the ones where you got beat a lot more than the ones that you won with that are bizarre. And just a tough thing. The game can be cruel. We all know that, man. Like, we don't want to admit it sometimes. We don't want that to expose itself to us, but it's there and it can happen. Crazy things like that do happen. Will happen again. That's not the last time that's ever going to happen to somebody you're pulling for. And, I can remember sitting on my couch watching it. And I was watching it, but listening to Craig Way on the radio. And it just, broke my heart for my alma mater and for those players and for the coaches. And because I've said this before, I thought that last year, halfway through the season, I think a lot of people were like, man, are they going to be good enough to even be in a regional? Are they going to be good enough to host a regional? Are they going to be able to do all those things? I thought that the players, the way they responded the second half of last year, and then they have to go win get a chance to win a Big 12 championship at home against West Virginia, and they're able to somehow tough their way through it, right, with a great opponent, and they find a way to be a part of the championship, and then then they get to regional and they win it, and then they get to that point where they were. I thought it was a tremendous coaching job. I thought it was a great effort by those young men, and so many guys that had to be replaced, Sean. Yeah. And look, winning is hard. Winning and succeeding is hard. It's expected at Texas. I totally get that, but it is hard. And when you got to replace like they had to so many from the year before. And, I thought it was a sign of resiliency for those guys to play so well down the stretch. And for something like that to happen at the end, you kind of every once in a while look at the game and you go, really? Wait a minute, what? But it can happen. And it certainly can. And you stick around this game long enough, it's not if, it's when. Something like that's going to happen.
And that kind of, and you're not wrong, because you and I have both seen a lot of unique things in this game, but it's also really a rewarding game that when you're riding a high, it's very streaky. And as you enter this season, you alluded to it, and I'll say the same thing. I thought last year was the best coaching job by David Pierce, who enters his 8th season at Texas. And you said it at the kickoff, or the first kickoff the season. This man deserves nothing but praise for what he's done. Followed a legend, and they are still as relevant as they ever have been. They've been to the College World Series 3 times. They could have went last year with perhaps the biggest project, meaning putting all these pieces together. You look at these bullet points, 8 seasons. You've got 9 Longhorns who are at least 6 feet 4 inches, and you look, and then they got the first 8 games of the Dish. They're not going to Arlington this year. Clearly, you're there, and maybe that's a good thing.
Well, I don't know. Every year they come here, they don't, play as well as they'd like to, but the end result seems to be pretty good for them. And so, look, I thought I wish they were here in Arlington too. But the reality is, I get to be, you want to open at home every once in a while. They got a great opponent in San Diego this weekend. That obviously, from a weather perspective, you're not getting a Big Ten team who hasn't been outside yet. You're getting a team that, the weather's better than maybe ours at times.
Yeah.
And so I think it's going to be an unreal series. I'm looking forward to when I'm not doing games here, being able to, flip on Craig Way or the Longhorn Network and pay attention to what's going on there and at Texas State this weekend. It'll be the first time for me to not be at a Texas State or Southwest Texas game opening day for the first time in 23 years.
Wow.
And it's a long time, by the way. That's almost as old as you are.
Yeah, almost.
Almost. And so this is, kind of a different, timing for me. But I'm so excited to the number of teams that are here at this thing. I'm going to tell you what, you draw a circle around this tournament here, and you're going to find some sprinkles of Omaha teams that are going to be here this weekend.
That's that one, and even at the Minute Maid Astros Classic, they do a great job of.
Shriner does a great job, and look, and I got to be honest with you, I'm sure there's probably some Longhorn fans, which there are thousands of them, that go to Disch-Falk Field. Every game, every time that gate opens up, they at a game, and because that's what it's been like there historically for a long time. Right. And they're going to play at home. Yeah. There ain't nothing wrong with that. They're going to be excited. Nope. And I'm going to tell you something. I was just talking to one of our producers just a minute ago here, and he was like, well, what does opening day mean? And as a coach, you try to go, well, it's just another game, right? Oh, it's just another day. That ain't true. As much as we would tell our players, hey, it's opening day, there's more high fives, there's more handshakes, more hugs given out before the game on opening day than any other game except playing for a national championship or a championship of some sort. And it's opening day. It's different. It just is different. And it's a sign of the beginning of a new season, a sign of an opportunity to get the season started for all the effort that you've put in over the past year and a half, preparing for the new season. It's a time to see, who are those guys that are going to step towards this moment, who are going to be the guys that maybe don't embrace it just yet, but will in the future. And so you'll start to see a lot of different things in opening day that creates this, hey, this is what we got to go work on. This is what we got to go get better at. But more importantly, my friend, we got to put on our stinking, freaking uniform and for real, and put, their name on the back of our shirts and let's go play for keeps. And it's just a special day tomorrow will be.
It's opening day in baseball is just different than any other season opener in any other sport, in my opinion. And, as we look at the audience, they look at this graphic. And I'm going to pick out a few of I just made some bullet points preseason for UT. You look at Peyton Powell and Porter Brown combined for 22 home runs. But the team has, in my opinion, and a little bit more because you've been around it. You and I are both friends with Coach Pierce, but you've had some conversations with him. Is this team leaning toward with the freshmen from California and even O'Dowd, Thomas? Do they have a heavy presence of power in this lineup?
Well, man, time's going to tell that. I don't know that answer right now. Yeah. I would tell you that Peyton Powell, to me, is one of the most complete hitters. Porter Brown, same way. Yeah. JT, the same way. Now, all of them, obviously left-handed hitters. And what they do a really good job of is they, whether it's a left-handed pitcher, right-handed pitcher, doesn't really matter. Their splits are pretty good because of those guys truly love the middle of the field. They have long at-bats. They have, their barrel stays in the hitting area a really long time, which allows them to hit breakers or something running away from them. They have tremendous flexibility in the box to be able to reach stuff running down away from them. And they like to hit, right? They like to be that guy that gets to put his spikes in between those white lines and that batter spots in big moments. Go back and look at, what they did, over the year with RBI chances. I mean, these guys are a high number, high leverage hitters.
Yeah.
I thought one of the most impressive ones was JT last year, even though he was a freshman, was struggling. Remember that in February was rough on him.
Yeah.
And then we got to about mid-March, early March, and all of a sudden that barrel was staying in there longer.
Yeah.
He started landing on some balls, striking balls back to the middle of the field. But all along, that young man was absolutely attacking his defense, attacking running the bases, attacking other ways to help contribute to his team winning. And he showed you a winning spirit about him instead of, dropping his eyes and dropping his chin and putting his hands on his hip. He showed you a championship face when he was struggling a little bit, and then, baby, here it came, right? I mean, he got hot. And, boy, I'll tell you what now, from April on, that dude was just on fire.
Yeah.
And then, again, those three left-handed hitters are guys that you can count on to have good at-bats and good moments and can change a game, change a season, change a moment for you, because then they just grind at bats off of you, and they don't chase, they don't get out of their realm too much historically, and so that's a great place for them to start. I think in the middle of the field, trying to figure out the defensive perspective, and I think it's going to create some great value for them too in their infield. So they've got some questions, but that's the excitement of it.
Yeah.
And I say questions. They've got some places they've got to refuel at. And they certainly have done it. I think if you listen to their conversations, they're positive, they're excited, they're anxious. And when coaches and players sound like that, Sean, that means they feel like they've got something going. They feel like they've got an opportunity to go do some great things. And certainly you hear that and see it, right? And you sense it. You got some young guys, the two California kids, and with Gasparino and Farmer, and guys that are high talented guys, right? Need some maturity in those barrels, much like what JT had to do.
Yeah.
Right. And so you got to have some maturity in those barrels, getting them out there and getting them into those game situations and getting them used to 93 to 95 on a regular basis, which is what you're going to see in the Big 12. And they've got every chance in the world to have a great club. And then obviously the returning of LBJ was such a huge thing, and Hurley with his experience. And if you listen to them, they'll throw you bits and pieces about they feel good about their bullpen and having some choices in the bullpen and being able to match up right and left. Got some guys back here, some other guys back that were out last year that are now back. And so it should be exciting for them. And there's opportunity out there, that's for sure, because you can see it and you can kind of sense it from them that they got a chance to go do some great things this year.
Let's take a leap away from Austin and the Longhorns. Who do you think, if you were to guess right now, not to jinx anybody, because baseball is a very superstitious sport, if there's a program that you think anywhere in the country in Division I that could make a major leap this season, I'm going to say Duke, but people say that's not a major leap. I mean, they were close to Omaha last year.
They were.
But they still have their pitching core, if I stand corrected.
Yeah, they do for the most part. Yeah, they do. I think it's a great choice. Well, I mean, trying to wade your way through the portal, and the impact it has on some team, and along with the new, the incoming guys and freshmen, and weighing that. I mean, it's always hard for me to say. After listening to Coach Wise talk about, from Oregon. And they really, they were one out away a year ago to go to Omaha, and Oral Roberts upset them in Oregon. And so, I listened to him the other day on the pre-interviews. He feels like their team's in a great spot right now. Tony Vitello the other day in his interview from Tennessee, he's got a great energy about him and, what he thinks and how he thinks his club's going to be. And, Tadlock was the same way. So beginning of the year, you start to hear these teams, and I'm saying those because I got to do interviews with those guys, right? So I got to hear some of their, what they feel like the team's going to be like. that there's always that team of mine, one of my favorites, 30 miles down the road in San Marcos, Texas State, that I feel like they got a chance to be really good. Man, I was at their leadoff dinners. I'm so proud of Stephen Trout and his energy and what he does. I mean, such an unreal man and great baseball guy. His staff, Chad Massengill, who played for me as well, and Jerry Cervantes, and those guys are just truly. I mean, I couldn't be any more excited and proud of them, and particularly for Steven. And he's got such an unbelievable energy about him and knowledge, and they feel like they got a chance to be really good. And they did the other day they said they got more pitching depth than they've ever had down there, and they've had some portal plus happen for them where they're able to get some guys, replace some of the guys, and maybe even get better in a handful of spots. And so they feel really good about what they've got going on. So I think they've got a chance to be one of those teams that you were just talking about to make another jump, from that magical season they had a couple of years ago that ended at Stanford too. We got to get them to send us somewhere else. That's it. I'm getting on a committee, and I'm not allowing Texas or Texas State to get sent to Stanford. I'm going to make that my commitment this year and try to get us sent somewhere else.
You got to figure this out because the lighting there is different at night.
It is.
Just for a reminder for people, Ty's not just saying that because that was his employer for 2 decades, and he helped build what that program is. 2 years ago, Texas State was this close to being an Omaha team. And down the road, UT San Antonio, they got another program which is trying to reach where Texas State has been.
Yeah.
And it's just on the I-35 corridor, amazing baseball on the college level.
Well, let's just grow that. And let's just say the great state of Texas.
Great state of Texas in general.
That's right.
Yes.
It's some of the greatest baseball, high school baseball, travel baseball, select baseball, however you want to word it. I'm so proud of our state. And, and look, take this the right way. I'm a football guy that just happened to coach baseball. And I grew up, my dad was a high school college football coach, so I understand, appreciate football in the great state of Texas. But let me tell you something. This state and the type of baseball, amateur baseball players and pro baseball players that it's got in it is unbelievable. And as a state as a whole, with our high school coaches, our little league coaches, our select coaches, everybody that has such an impact, and our college coaches have such an impact on these young people and making them better. The end product that you're seeing in the great state of Texas is second to nobody, in my opinion. Now, I'm biased, obviously, and will always be that way. But I'm sitting in here right now in Globe Life, and I'm watching, these teams get ready to play a game. I'm looking up the stands. There's probably 60, 70 scouts here.
Wow.
And so, look, the great state of Texas is a baseball state as well. And I'm excited and proud to have been a part of it for a long time in my life, and certainly look forward to trying to extend it by doing what I'm doing now on the media side or on the TV and radio side of it, and it's fun. I'm gonna tell you what, man, you go put together an all-star team, come into this state, and you could travel around here and play some great baseball with these college teams.
My God.
And so I'm excited for the state of baseball in the state of Texas. And I'm going to tell you this right now, because I got a few more minutes in here, and I got to get back to work, real work. This is the fun work. And all of it's actually fun for me, quite frankly. I mean, listen, let me tell you what my day's been like. I walk into Globe Life. Very first person I see is Darren Thomas, who used to be the head coach at UT Arlington. Mm-hmm. And then, Mitch Thompson walks in behind him. I get to hug both those guys. And I'm looking out here right now watching one of my longest friends in baseball, Skip Johnson, and throw BP. He's still got a good arm action, even though it's kind of slowed over leaned over a little bit. Not quite as high as it used to be on top. And so And so, I mean, look at this guy right here. I mean, he's Todd Butler, who's a longtime head coach and assistant at Arkansas, and is back on Skip's staff. And I'll see Rob Childress later on tonight. He's back on the staff at Nebraska. And so this is like, I'm like sitting at a family reunion and with a beer in my hand, just listening to everybody and watching everybody. So that's where my current situation, I think, is how people on social media like to put it, and so I'm enjoying myself.
Ty, that's good company. All those names. You tell Skip we said hello, and he's had the invitation to become. He's tried to become a member of the Man Cave VIP Alumnus Club. Our schedules have crossed, and I think
he gets a little busy.
He's
a little busy. Yeah, he's a little busy.
And he's done a good job at Oklahoma.
Unreal.
With what they have, he has done a fantastic job.
Hey, man, they're 1 year removed from playing for the national championship. 2
They
years
did.
ago when they were playing Ole Miss.
Hey.
And, that's something. Not everybody gets to play in a national championship game, my friend. It's easy to get there.
You got to win a lot of games to reach that championship series. And you got to win 2 more.
That's correct.
It is.
That's correct.
My brother, we're going to let you enjoy it and get paid to have fun and go subscribe to the Globe Life Classic, I think.
Flo Sports. Flo Sports. It's an Austin company. And get on there, man. I've met some of the crew, some of the producers, which Lucas Haskin, who's producer, used to produce at Texas State, which is how I got involved with this. And, man, I've gotten a chance to know some of the other just Matt, and people that are going to be directing and putting it on Corona, and some other people putting this together. I'm fired up to be here. I'm proud to be here, truthfully, and truly feel excited and lucky to be here amongst this baseball stuff, which is what I grew up doing. And it's going to be a great tournament. I mean, you're looking at Oregon, Nebraska, OU, Baylor, Texas Tech, and Tennessee. And so it's just going to be an exciting tournament, obviously, and a lot of great baseball. And like I said, I'm going to be excited to be a part of it. But the best thing about tomorrow or tonight at midnight a.m., my friend, it is college baseball, and it is here, and we're ready to roll, and we're going to roll all the way almost till July. And so I'm excited.
Yeah, you got to give a hug to old Frank Anderson too, the pitching coach.
I can do that, let me tell you one. He's special, and he's a special guy and a special pitching guy, and I'll tell you right now. I mean, two of the best pitching guys in the modern era time of college baseball. Frank Anderson, Skip Johnson,
and they're right there.
There are better ones, I'm sure, but in my opinion, for the guys in modern era that I was coaching and playing in, these guys were 2 of the top ones in college baseball, and they're going to be here this weekend.
And they both coached at UT under Augie Garrido.
Sure did.
That's amazing. But brother, have fun, stay hydrated in room temperature.
I can do that.
It's not difficult.
Do my best. I'll do my best. I will do my best, and I'll tell you what. When I get back, we'll meet at Shoal Creek. We're gonna have a beer.
Let's go.
We'll break down the weekend, my friend.
It's on me. It's on me, of course, my friend. And don't let anybody tell you differently, man. I don't know whether you're a better coach or a better announcer. It's 50-50. I don't know. It's 50-50.
I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna take it anyway I want to take that, and I'm gonna just run off with it and feel good about it. I'll let everybody else decide how they want to take it. So,
anyway,
God. All right, happy opening day.
Hey, happy opening day, opening weekend, and for the Ty Harrington and the OG Man Cave boys, that being Hardball Hards, Big Mike, and Coach Mo, we are out.